Oh, it's on now. It's definitely on. I think it's officially fair to say that the party is now over. The best we can hope for at this point is a return to normality. In this video, I'm going to provide you with some statistical evidence to illustrate how quickly our market is pivoting. The only question at this point is, can we avoid a housing crash and simply have a soft landing? So stay tuned as I break it all down for you. Okay, now before I provide you with some anecdotal stories and some soft evidence to back up my theory, I first want to provide you with some hard numbers. So let's check out all the normal analytics first, and then implement what we've learned back into theory. First, let's check out last month's sales. Last month, we sold 2,728 homes. Now this was down 3% from April. But even last year, May was down 10% from April as well. So by that rationale, we're looking damn good. But let's look at some pre-COVID numbers. Back in 2019, we sold 3,035 homes, which seems to be right in line with historical averages. So it's fair to say that last month's sales was down about 10% from the historical norm. Now here's where it gets odd. Every month this year has been below last year's numbers. On the other hand, every month but these past two have been above 2019 numbers. So overall, we're fine. But attempting to compare this year against one of the most absurd sales years in Las Vegas history is just setting ourselves up for failure. Next, let's see what effect sales had on the median price. Just like everything else in this post-COVID world, the median price makes no damn sense here either. Even though sales were down, the median price managed to increase yet again to $485,000. This makes it a 26% increase in value year over year. Just think about this. I know inflation's out of control, but the median price last year was $385,000. We literally went up $100,000 in 1 year. Even more sad, remember 2017? I mean, that was only 5 years ago. While I didn't have, gray hairs messing up my style back then, the price was half of what it is right now. What a difference a few years makes. Okay, now time to blow your mind. If you've been watching me for a while, you know that I preach the importance of monitoring the inventory levels. This is the single largest indicator of market direction. When inventory shrinks to nothing, prices tend to increase. When inventory increases, that typically shows a weaker demand and a softening of the market. In recent months, I've stressed the importance of this singular metric. Well, here you go. Last month I told you things were looking rough, but it might just be an isolated month since we increased inventory by 25%. Well, check out these numbers. Damn! Last month, our inventory absolutely exploded. We added about 1,200 homes in May for a 49% increase in just 1 month. What's even worse is the fact that weekly increases are getting more and more profound. Already in the first week of June, we've added another 300 homes. Now for the last metric, let's see what effect, if any, this has on housing saturation by price range. I started this metric coming out of quarantine for this very moment in time. Now this metric illustrates how different price ranges are performing. The higher the percentage, the more competitive the market is. Let's first start off with the bulk of our market, homes priced between $250,000 and $500,000. We went from 66% last month to only 56%. Meaning only half of the homes on the market are now under contract. Just in March, this number was 77%. That's a big dip. Next is 500 to 750. We went from 54% down to 39%. Now let's bring on the pain. 750 to 1 million. We went from 42% down to 31%. Now in March, this number was 59%. So in just 4 months, demand has been cut in half. Now for the worst price segment, 1 million to 1.5 million. We went from 39% down to only 27%. In March, this number was 56. So the luxury market demand is now less than half of what it was just in March. Finally, we have the ultra luxury market of 1.5 million plus. This plummeted as well, from 30% down to 21%. Overall, the market dropped 12% last month. All right, so sales were down, but historically normal. Prices managed to rise, but not without watching the inventory levels increase as well. Last but not least, housing saturation is now plummeting. So what in the hell is happening out there, and where does this leave us? Okay, we got a lot to unpack here, so let's start with two obvious scenarios. First, the market is simply coming back to normal. Second, the market's absolutely crashing after years of insane price increases. Now, on one hand, there's no ignoring a 49% increase in inventory. That's an absurd percentage. Adding 1,000 homes is equally absurd. However, this now puts us at a dismal 5-week supply of inventory. 5. By any analysis, this is still a seller's market. Like I've been warning though, is this isolated or a trend? At this point, I think it's safe to say this is a trend which we'll continue to see in the forthcoming months. What if we continue to add 1,000 homes a month though? By the time we get to the holidays, we could easily have a 3-month supply of inventory, which starts to make this a more balanced market. But the real truth is that the statistics are only one part. Consumer confidence is everything. Now, a Mustang GT is a pretty fast car, right? Well, not if you're used to driving a Ferrari to work every day. Going from a Ferrari to a Mustang, what's normally considered a fast vehicle is now relegated to slow, simply by comparison. Well, that's what this market feels like right now. It's still a strong market, it just feels slow because we've been living in an unsustainable world for the past 2 years. In just a couple months, I've seen every home receive 20 offers, now down to 2 offers only a couple weeks ago. I listed 2 properties last week, and so far, nothing on either property. Literally, that's how much the market has changed in just 1 month. Every day I'm seeing price reduction after price reduction. If you're a buyer out there, what sense of urgency do you really have right now? It's painfully obvious time is on your side. If buyers decide to hold and wait, this could get ugly real quick. Here's a couple slides I want to show you. First is an email from Toll Brothers. I haven't seen anything like this in years. We've gone from waiting lists and bidding wars on new homes to Toll Brothers sending emails with 12 plus homes sitting around as standing inventory. This would have been unheard of 2-3 months ago. Now, check this out. Even a month ago, you would never see this. Here's a gated, single-story only neighborhood in the heart of Summerlin. These homes are perfectly sized at about 2,000 to 2,400 square feet. This quiet neighborhood normally never has available homes, and when they do, they're gone immediately. I don't care what the market looks like. Well, I pulled comps the other day, and look at this. 4 homes for sale, none under contract. None out of 4. Now sure, a couple are ambitiously priced. You see that everywhere. Even Opendoor, which is the largest corporate flipper now that Zillow's gone, got caught being foolish and greedy. They bought one for $615,000 back in December, and now they're praying to break even by asking $634,000. Invariably, they're going to lose money on this flip, since that home is only worth what they paid to begin with. Now let's discuss scenario 2. This is where the entire market just implodes and we have a massive crash with prices plummeting. Now, I don't see this as likely, and this is a very different situation as 2008. Back then, everyone was buying multiple homes with little to no money down. If you don't have any skin in the game, it's much easier to just walk away. Put short, this was the advent and subsequent collapse of subprime loans. Well, check out this chart from the Federal Reserve. This shows you the volume of loans funding with low credit scores below 620. As you can see, the value is minuscule. Next is a similar chart from the Mortgage Bankers Association. This is the Mortgage Credit Availability Index. This essentially illustrates how easy lending standards are. The higher the number, the easier it is to obtain financing. You can see the index has hardly moved since 2008. If anything, it's become more difficult since 2019. Between large down payments for owner-occupied buyers and 20% down loans for investors, combined with historic increases in value, it's difficult to see homeowners and investors simply walking away from homes like they did 15 years ago. In the end, the market is cooling off, and it's a perfect storm to chill out the market. Rates are higher, inflation is putting pressure on buyers from every angle, and the high end of the market is much more impacted by substantial losses on Wall Street and the crypto bubble. Crypto market. Sure. Ultimately, I think the market is going to cool off substantially this year. I warned you guys last month to sell, sell, sell. Hopefully you took my advice, but if you're going to sell at some point in the near future anyhow, I would highly recommend you get out immediately. And I mean immediately. I think and hope we don't see a crash, but I don't see much to gain either as a seller by waiting. I only see tremendous risk in waiting. For buyers, patience is a virtue right now. Rates have been coming down lately, and I have on good authority that, say by spring of next year, we'll see rates back in the 3s again. Right now, sellers are dealing with the shock of the current state of the market. Anyone still trying to sell this month who has to sell is going to be very motivated soon. So if you find the perfect home, negotiate wisely, or simply wait another month if possible and negotiate a better deal for yourself then. Well, that's it for June, everyone. Thank you for watching. Please be sure to smash the subscribe button and like this video, share it with your friends and family, and be sure to contact me for all your buying and selling needs. Stay cool out there, and I'll see you guys all next month.